Joining me on this edition of Consider This, Long Beach City Councilman and congressional candidate Gary DeLong, Vice Chair of the State Board of Equalization, Michelle Steele, and lawyer, former Assemblyman and board member of the California High-Speed Rail Authority, Tom O'Byrne. Welcome all. So, Tom, you're, among many other things, former federal prosecutor. What do you make of this, of the jail, the LA jail situation?
It's extremely troublesome. There's not much public sympathy for those who are incarcerated, but this panel, not consisting of ACLU folks, but of federal prosecutors, very conservative federal prosecutors.
I mean, the guys who go after criminals.
Rob Bonner.
Put them in prison. They put the guys in prison.
Exactly. Their report is scathing, and it reflects upon all of government as well. When it looks like one government official not only is not performing up to standard, but doesn't really care, then that really undermines everything we do in government.
What do you make of this? It's almost like a disconnect. You've got this report, and you've got all these other things that are saying, you know, there's terrible things going on. Baca says, come in and look. I'm running a model agency. This is a model for jails. Is there any way to reconcile those two things?
I don't think there is. I think it's up to the Board of Supervisors to step up and continue to take a very close look.
Okay, and I haven't heard a whole lot, though, from any other officials on this.
Well, it's not a good place for elected officials to be criticizing those in law enforcement, so it's tough to do. But there are certain times when it cries out for public intervention.
Okay, let's get on to some things I wanted to talk to this esteemed panel about. And Michelle, let's talk taxes. We've got this new internet. Yeah, more or less. Yeah. And so let's establish your credentials. I want to get into this internet taxation and other things. Now, you are a member of the State Board of Equalization. Exactly what does that mean you're a tax collector?
Yeah, we equalize everybody. Yeah, I'm a tax collector.
You equalize everybody. How did you come up with that?
Actually, that's the way it started.
Equalization? I always wondered about that.
No, it actually, county tax system was all different. So people were moving into cheaper property tax area. So now that they try to equalize all the county taxes, that's the way they started going to equalization. Isn't that really weird?
And you are the member of the 3rd District,
yes,
which is Southern California.
Yes, it's all Orange County, a little bit of LA, and then San Diego, Imperial County, Riverside, and 80% of San Bernardino County.
Okay,
so 8.5 million.
And there's 5 of you, right?
There's 4 of them and controllers.
Okay.
So all
4 elected.
Yes.
4 if you run. You're an elected official.
Exactly.
In fact, this may be no offense to you, because congratulations, but it says something about the Republican Party. You are the highest-ranking Republican in state office.
We need more.
Yeah, we need more, you say, but you're in right now. You're on the State Board of Equalization. Okay, so now, what's with this tax? I thought in order to pass a tax in California legislature, you need 2/3 approval, and yet there's this tax on the internet now where anybody who's buying something from Amazon or something, you never had to pay it before. It's about another 8% or so. You have to pay. How did that happen?
It started September 15th. And whatever you buy through the internet, that you have to pay sales. Actually, retailers, that when they are selling it, they have to charge sales taxes.
Yeah.
But this use tax, we started sales tax in 1931 from the state. When we had a deficit, they tried to cover that deficit. So they started as a 2.5% sales tax on 1931. And then people are smart. So what they did was they go outside of California and they start buying it. So California started, okay, when you use something inside of California, you have to pay. So sales tax is a use tax using tax. So that's the way it started.
So they're saying they have the right to impose this internet tax without going through the usual deal?
It's not right to impose or not. Either way, you have to report that.
Okay.
So when you do personal income tax return, on the personal income tax sheet, actually there's the use tax portion that you have to write it down. But internet tax is that, people just buying it from internet and they're not charging sales tax on it. So that's the way it started.
Did you guys have to vote on this? Did you have to vote on whether to impose this or not?
No, it was the Assembly Bill 155.
Okay, and how do you feel? You're one of the members of the board. Do you like this?
No, I don't, because it might be double taxation. People don't even have a clue, because when you actually report on their personal income tax, we have a table. I'm against that too, because not that many people buy merchandise from outside of California anyway. Begin with,
people on Amazon,
you are reporting it, and then when Amazon or other internet companies charging it, you might pay double.
So do you think there'll be some court challenges on this?
You know what? This one I don't know, because Amazon went for it, so I don't know their court challenges.
Okay. And I'm sorry, jump in here.
I'm going to jump on it. First of all, I know you mentioned Michelle being a tax collector. Being a constituent of hers, I want you to know that she's one of the biggest tax fighters in the state of California. But in this specific issue, it's another example of the state legislature, state assembly, just trying to get more revenue by raising taxes on the residents of the state of California. I mean, it's really that simple. We didn't pay it before. Now we have to pay it. It's a tax.
What about the argument, we need the money? Gary, we're broke. We need the money.
Well, they can do it cities like the city I represent does. We've managed our costs. We have 20% fewer employees today than we did 10 years ago. The state of California has 20% more employees today. They need to manage their expenses. Don't keep going to the residents saying we need more money, more money, more money. Do a better job managing your expenses.
Tom, what about that? Instead of the state looking for rich people or smokers or people on the internet or other things to get their money, just make government downsize.
Everybody is going to the internet.
Well, there's two issues here. Certainly, government should be efficient. Government should be responsible. But the issue with respect to the internet tax is not whether they're raising the taxes. They're not raising the taxes. They're just requiring Amazon and the others that market over the internet to pay their equal share. If you're Amazon, you compete with bricks and mortar facilities here in California. You have a competitive advantage. And
then it costs you shipping. How about the consumer? I don't pay
shipping when you go on, so it kind of evens out. You either pay a tax at a brick and mortar store, or you pay shipping online.
No, you pay shipping when you buy from Barnes & Noble as well, because that's incorporated into the cost. But there's a competitive advantage, and so what this legislature did is said, look, we're going to go ahead and eliminate this competitive advantage. We're going to make it fair. Now, California has been hit saying that California is disproportionately one taxing disproportionate to other states, but there's states, Texas and Nevada, South Carolina, and many, many other states are doing exactly the same.
But the point is, California is one of the highest tax states in the country. Regardless of whether you get it from property tax or sales tax or internet, we're one of the highest tax states. The last thing we need to do for our residents is add more taxes.
Okay, Gary, I'm shy. Now that we know you're not shy, just to let everybody know what you are. You are a Long Beach councilman, and you are running for Congress.
In the 47th Congressional District.
Which is a new district. Long Beach and what goes all the way to
58%, and LA County is 42% in Orange County.
Right. And you are running against a longtime state lawmaker.
Some would take too long.
Alan, you might say that. Alan Lowenthal, he's the Democrat, you're the Republican. There are not many interesting races for Congress in California this year, but yours is one of them. Now, we extended an invitation to both of you to come on and debate. You accepted. Alan didn't, and so you're here. Now, why didn't he accept?
Well, he's had a bad experience debating me. Every time we go out and debate, I win, he loses. So he's a smart guy. He figured out he doesn't want to do that anymore.
Okay, so your explanation is
simple.
Well, that might be blunt. Yes, but now I need to back off. Another explanation be that he thinks he's ahead and he doesn't need to debate you.
Well, that's funny because he put his poll out last week that said he was 1 point ahead and please send him money or the world's going to come to an end. So all I can tell you is when he sends emails out, he doesn't say that.
Okay. Now, as I look at your positions, you're what might be termed generously a moderate Republican.
Fiscally conservative, but moderate Republican.
Okay, you're pro-gay marriage, you're pro-choice on abortion. I heard you're against repealing all or some of Obamacare.
Well, I have a better plan.
But you're not even taking a pledge to repeal Obamacare. And you even in Long Beach, they banned plastic bags as nanny state thing and you voted for that?
We're a coastal city.
My first question is, what makes you a Republican?
I'm damn cheap. I balance a budget every year. I do it the right way, not with gimmicks, not with tricks. We make the difficult decisions we have to make in our city to balance a budget. We invest for the future. We build reserves. We build infrastructure. Those are the things we do. So I'm very fiscally conservative. If you don't believe me, ask my wife. I'm very frugal.
What do you think is the biggest difference between you and your opponent?
I think the biggest difference is I have a private sector background as well as public sector. I've been a local small business owner for 25 years, corporate America for 10 years before that. I understand how to create jobs. I understand that the number one priority in our country is to get our economy moving again. I have the skills and experience to do that. He has no idea. And he's a very nice man, but he's a career politician for 20 years.
A professor, right?
All worthy endeavors, but they don't give you any knowledge about how to create a job or how to grow a private sector.
So you're a businessman and you were an executive before that.
And
a little more. What kind of a business? And
telecommunications industry. So before there were things like internet and IP networks and so forth, in that industry was big, large phone systems. But now we're just managed technology for large corporate clients.
Okay. So, and as far as an issue, is there anything that you guys really disagree about as far as an issue that's going to affect your district?
We do. I think that the way out of this country, or the way out of our mess in this country, is to grow our economy, to reduce our unemployment rate, give people an opportunity for a better job. My opponent thinks the solution is more government spending, and we're already deficit spending $1 trillion a year, and he thinks more government is the answer. I can tell you that is not the answer.
Okay. Tom, Gary said Alan's a nice man. Didn't have much more nice to say about it. A fellow Democrat, can you come to his defense and say...
Alan is a very nice man. And in fact, listening to you, Gary, I want to welcome to the Orange County Democratic Party. This is a modern Republican. I think we've got a home for you.
Well, actually, I've got a lot of endorsements from Democrats. Mayor Stanton's come on board. Every mayor in Orange County, Democrat or Republican, has joined our team. And I'm honored to have them both.
In Gary's case, I think it illustrates the challenge of the Republican Party in California. So you've got the presidential candidate who is at odds with Gary on so many issues, and it makes it very difficult to run, I think, number one. And number two is that the Republican Party has veered so much to the right that it also makes it difficult for folks to gain support. So,
I can only tell you it hasn't been difficult for me. We have a strong, solid Republican base in Orange County as well as LA County. We have a number of Democrats that have come on board the team, independent. It's working great.
But government works best when you've got reasonable-minded people who are pragmatic problem solvers.
Okay, you guys are starting to disagree way too much.
So we agree on that.
All right, okay. We got to talk a little football, okay? The Orange County Register has reported allegations from a couple of coaches and several players that, once again, we're hearing about bounties, coaches putting bounties on players. Hit this guy, we'll give you money. This isn't the pros. This isn't college, not even high school. It's Pop Warner football, 10 and 11-year-olds. And, Michelle, what
I have just one word to say, ridiculous. I raised two daughters, and you know what? It's fun. When they were raised, they learn, from those teamwork and, from school and doing sports, and you know what? It's totally ridiculous.
Is it ridiculous, Tom, or is it just like teaching kids to, this is sports. Football, you hit hard.
Well, as a parent whose children played competitive sports, I think it's outrageous. If I were a parent on one of the opponent's teams whose child was hurt, I would be more than outraged. I'd be looking for some sort of remedy.
Maybe to hire a lawyer like you.
I think that's outrageous because if you're incentivizing 10-year-olds to put people out of games, that's what the allegations are. Put them out of games to injure them. Then,
in fact, there was this was a Tustin, the Tustin Pop Warner team, and supposedly there was a bounty on a Santa Margarita player who had a concussion. The kid got a concussion. We should say the coaches, the coach who's been accused, they've denied it. So you've got kind of a he said, she said going on. But what do you think?
Well, I'm not as succinct as Michelle. I need 2 words, but it's wrong. Being someone who played Pop Warner when I was 10, 11 years old, that's not what it is. It's about the social. It's about building teamwork, working together, and having a lot of fun. That's what it's about. Not hitting the other guy extra hard.
Is it just so much big business nowadays, though? I mean, and so it just percolates down. Every parent wants their kid to be a sports star.
No, I think it goes to the character and integrity of the coaches. They need to be saying a positive message.
It also illustrates the NFL's responsibility to make sure that they have role models. New Orleans Saints, I mean, that's the original scandal with the New Orleans Saints, and that's a horrible state.
Another thing Tom and I agree on.
And we will end on that agreement. Thank you very much, Ron.
Thank you.